and you cry. Mom for so chamachi. Say, hey, massa. Daddy, I'm here. I'm a almost say, me boo, I'm a boom. Oh, but no credit. No credit be a dano. And I'm the to be a mixano to me, Jina, painting. Massa. Oh, David, I mean, no more. I won't perceive a shana. Let me, I would also be a honor my cannon to be a mixano. Young friendly a day, any a day, and then what them yes, the lack of party when you dream. I come a catch or say, the Edible really game near lack in Ghana Nine is not in the game, it's not on the side of Ghana. Of course, just a moon will be obey and wojuma. Tis a more yet physically now. No my idea, mum, you really match near lack, no matter. And then so your day, and there 23rd, maybe 23rd of June 2026. So the number 3 is aligning with the frequency number 3 of England. So Biase Ghana Beshe, Obieka. So mine money now be a deal. Oh yeah, but a different more now. Okay. Ghana. But I make just a lack near the winning game and anyone from Ghana. And Nankasa in particular 23rd. You're born any other day in Bianca Befa Bene Tuesday. And yet. Once you're an animal to meet Nazakase, and they are said that net that bonnet, and the man from Manqua. Charlie, and we are more. Tis a so for no more bomb and a moment ye and a mooncase, lack na anyone a mala. Namun team now motion crying, and no the empha. Mena make Cassania Fremi Supremo. Fancy, Mena Minu Dinko Mama. Ain't he? Say a Danny a sensory. Say a Danana Black Star say we near. And I make catch you say if you want to work, we should work around the lack. Okay. To see a young word you may be to me at Danana make catch you. And your best crowd here, we can get 1-1 draw. And then you more chiam I am who make me. When the young coach was say Ghana the ban counter threat. Our hopa. Young Thomas Tuchel. Our Bruno Edim Como.
Declan just mentioned one of the threats is the counter-attack because Ghana plays with a lot of physicality. They play with a lot of speed, individual quality. They don't mind if they don't have so much of the ball because they burst into high-speed attacks on the counter. They play very direct when they're on the ball. They're not shy to use long balls. They bring 4 or 5 players into the attack. So, yeah, it's a different approach, than the last match, but that's the beauty of it. I mean, we play World Cup, we play now different cultures, different national teams, and different approaches to the match, and it's on us to adapt and to bring our strengths and be respectful enough to adapt to the strengths of our opponent and make it a top performance from us because that's what we need if we want to win.
Yamre Nafi, Yamrama Twaso, T. Yawie. Hey, Mazana, be a friend.
Yeah, be a boko.
Whoa, you're the right. Why?
Thomas Usradio.
Tuchel.
Usradio.
Says he.
Usru gave no conusru. Usru.
Somebody can catch him say, fine. He be on paper in that pecking or that because England no way. But no one Chelsea into me your home shay. See Janaya boys now so any coaching don't bear ye knew ho.
Usradio. Usradio papa. I fear. You go and then talk one. You be bumpa, you be me perceive him on the kid too heavy. You be but Kakrebia mechanic and then talk one. Ulusu ala bibia it me send me be brema for your good work. The number of things the English media are waiting to write about Thomas Tuchel. No? Imagine say a book game na 90+2 na party na share winning go.
Kenya bad cry.
Na wa imagine on nam for no mo England on the day number. Media na day number actually. The expression of him, he knows it, he understands it. And Ghana has become unpredictable in the tournament. Obian said that Carlos Quierloz more than 5 friendly games. So a lot of questions have been asked. Ghana also played the last game without Thomas Partey.
Yeah, shene hu yen set up na de be man tudi. Say number some yen show we nkake dufia na fi aba be twa so free.
Yeah. Football has its own way of rewarding players. And I think it's into wase wo hu de bi awie wo nkunimdim. Na say bi wo abrabo mani kwan say wo pre bebre.
Run to me.
And yes, de wo mpa hunu no. And na be hunu. I think there are two players who are defining this particular era in world football, which are Eni Bibedi Omohunkomo, Namediesi. World Cup aye boy. And katiti mren mu anase mre twemu no ka ye nipa e bewie agokansi ni na ase tournament ni nyina watimi ajigo kindesi ni naso a na nka ne goals kura na kosoro kura 8. Ba ya me no di nkomo yi. World Cup group stages ni abo 2 games pe. Le mum players mienu bi wo ho no mo magye adwane de asi wo no matena so. Ana omo ankasa ebo omo ho asafo hene nya asafo hene se omo ankasa na ato nwom de from ho na mum omo de mo ena yi omo kira amansan. Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi. Yo, I think these are two players or more redefine the history of their countries, number one.
Okay.
Number two, certain players be a omusi a kind of ma se okru no omu ni si a kind of ma wo mo no. We mo no a better legacy no more in terms of achievement or most etimiaka. Me kai say Diego Maradona ya an interview with Guillem Baleg of Spain. Na Soccerex. And who name is after that called the true book Diama Maradona. Now, what made Maradona so special to the Argentines is he was for the street. Because he was for the street, there was a certain story Maradona narrated for Guillem. Now, not all chess na ochemo baby a fair general pass Argentina. Now, Odru on an uncle there, Bobo, Honor, no packing the canoe, see no kujina moving or Bobby. Or say after 10 to 15 minutes, an uncle who nippon one in a year day. Ebobo, no mutem, Diego. Also a few bia the hiane so no team no what agina obo ya what be your story so has ya kofa the video bi titimre bi a Napoli na nkofu kobi bobo wo mfichire okotisi mu kobo bi. Maradona was not only a talented player but he was made for the street, a man who loved the ball. It would take an interview bi also no the ball no wa fa ball ne se ball ne yere Emma refer to Alfredo Di Stefano book or Troy. Said, thank you, my old lady. The old lady Di Stefano was referring to no about football. Di Stefano, the few crowd was he crown was a statue of a football and a dear tour. The eti also do football near so who the football the ayamano. I know who be a football in the nedru. It will no bo kasa or day. Uti. I don't know so kasa boti. So the perfect example is when they were playing the World Cup in Italy 90. Also about penalty no ohun ball no far ball no kasa kire ball no. And we say interview no be say ti ball no tie ana. I say ball na turn ti ball ni tie nkomo no ni di. So Maradona spoke to the ball and the ball answered to him. I think the ball speaks to Messi and Messi answers to the ball. Ball na Maradona kasa kire na na tie. But Messi ni die. Em say ball na kasa kire no aye de ball ne pe. Because eto de bia baby abo ne beto no de abo ne yema no de abo ne ebegina a obebo abo ne ba ko wura akwa ye de ama no odwen ho a wonte ase yaw. That is why longevity and a lot of things has worked in his favor. When the ball speaks, Messi listens. When Maradona speaks, the ball listens. Ti Maradona be kasa kire ball na de bi o kana asem say if not for the drug illness ka ba bia waduru no anke wa kire ba ono no na Maradona ne kasa kire ball no de enyama ne tina no referee so pe no ye ba Messi ni tie ball na asem itina the ball epe say wo se nipa yema no Messi ye no wanya ho sunsanso. Look at the results awanya. Now 18 World Cup goals. Yaw ye bo 2006 World Cup Messi be share one goal pe. Let's ask ourselves before 2018 World Cup, now Messi goes here saying at the World Cup. He's always establishing himself in the conversations between the old and the new and the present. And even for the future, this is the man. Yow. Obo na to twene wie in terms of penalty. No so ha oyedede bia na wo show reaction be say as why frustrated. But the pictures be send Shadrach. Messi touch map and no against Austria. Yow, almost everywhere on the pitch, Messi was touching the ball.
Run to me.
Now Messi touch a ball, 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 touch a ball. He's a person football has been really kind to. And I think more listening when you now say no. Yow. The ball came to him, he dealt with it, and he scored a fantastic goal. What a brilliant player that he is. I wish, say, he could win a second World Cup. Or a better level view. Yeah, if you see a woman, how many players in the World Cup 2? I bet that different level. Different level. But to me, I have my doubt about that. But I think Messi, the ball speaks and he listens. Kylian Mbappe defined whatever Thierry Henry came to the French national team and couldn't do. Yeah, he's a master of the new generation and a proper role model for the future generation. He could literally be the master of the present or current generation and be the master of the future generation. Kylian Mbappe was say be 27 and I'm a boy. 27. Then a Kylian Mbappe 27 years no or walk up back was Abubim.
I don't quite know 31, so probably another World Cup.
On pride
34, 35.
Or a player so when it comes to the French national team, hardly do you hear say you call walk up Kylian Mbappe Akupra. So once Messi is doing his thing, there's somebody who has come into the mix because in the past 10 to 15 years, my man 20 years. Me who say akoda bia peja ejina Messi ni Ronaldo anim gidigidi ti say the Kylian Mbappe here at the world stage. There be name a try by pra any name ani ni Kylian Karim Benzema mba be hihye bi won chenchen abe try other players be mama into the mix. Gareth Bale ba be didi mu won so ba be ne namu kakra Salam ba be hihye goals ni bi kakra in terms of almost club size. But if you are looking at players who could combine national team status at the highest level, any club level, almost put up a top performance and be complemented on your national team. No, Kylian Mbappe, any Neymar, and coming close, standing up against Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. Just as I said about Maradona, Thierry Henry, I didn't know the French national team, even in France '98. Yow, the versatility. Elegance on the ball. The skill set was mind-blowing. But whatever Kylian Mbappe is doing is not about elegance, skill set, or even the technical ability he possesses. But yeah, he's giving results consistently. How many World Cups na Kylian Mbappe abo? From 2018. Some Secret was started born from 2006 in the neighbor. When 2018 till now, was it 16 World Cup goals? Last time you bought World Cup, you the 8 goals in a G goal king. I feel we about 2 matches or 4 goals. Yow, I am more group stage in the no 6. Meaning is every round of 32, no round of 16. Not killing about team as I say. Last 4 years, the number of goals I will share out the G goal king. He was nurtured by the old generation. He has become the leader of the new generation, and he will be the leader of the future generation of the French national team. French national team will be an incommodity. There be, and the status and the standard he's building for himself. Yeah, Thierry Henry will look back, will look at him and says, "No, Abrante will be totally different from Yena Yaba national team. It is his World Cup. The only person that can compete Messi now, it will reassess World Cup one player Kylian Mbappe. World Cup no bien who bet me compete la no Messi apart from Kylian Mbappe. He's the only one. Me who say Haaland has 2 goals. Me who say Bimu share the ba. But yow, what Kylian Mbappe is doing at the World Cup, he is there. He is there. And he might even retire as the greatest French player to have played in the World Cup. And even historically, Uyi Messi, now you Ronaldo, I heard the Kylian Mbappe better as the one of the greatest players on my board at the World Cup. A whole world stage, a 1 year GD, and he's putting in the work. Yow, I wouldn't love to say more things about Kylian Mbappe, but what a brilliant young guy he is. Club side, we bet him a fan, but when it comes to the French national team, there is only one king, and he's Kylian Mbappe. Untimi is Untimi, and the rest of the team.
Untimi.
And the amount of the resource. Yow, these two players, and I said to your mom, to a straw, I will walk up a year, but me and you that's road, they are Kenyan Ediso. They are Kenyan Ediso. Opponents are Messi, I saw Mopada. We had the World Cups, our Bobo, they need to do now. Yow, look at 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. Messi shall say, OBM 2018 World Cup. No, shall say, OBM, but then 2022, he came to the party. And this season, he is there. The same as Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe there, through 2018, he has put himself. And there's only one team realistically, Argentina team there, now. There's only one team realistically, no better Argentina, TSC, born a man to man. And that is the French national team. Yow, Senegal for Guyanima Sepa. Omaguyanima Sepa.
What to me?
Steve Bray.
Yo, Erling Haaland and the rest of the Norwegian side, HSA, I'm redefining history because this is a country now I take it close to a 3-decade hiatus in terms of presence at the FIFA World Cup. Maybe. There's a conversation about golden generations and the achieve for the respective nations. Ayana, Arabian, you feel so munya a golden generation. We talked about the English one and they almost no discuss why they were not successful. Almost come about the rivalries that existed between our more respective clubs or the core international colors. Omanko and forge a unit that fought for the badge of the nation, but rather the rivalry and the club about national team in the Belgian golden generation I feel say they got a very talented squad, but they missed the third ingredient, that was a coach who knew how to make use of quality players and set up a system a bit to me Edu Omawini. Debbie America said national team and the club side, are entirely different. For national team tournament, you need a strategy that will get you through to the business end. Belgium for Nyebisa, our own brothers from Ivory Coast, Ebeka, how the fashion mutim the Didier Drogba have, and then Zokora Dems Omodiana arm because so check in the last decade plus. National team are raising top stars almost rising to world prominence. Ivory Coast and so any squad and Obama. Now we have Erling Haaland and Norway and him and Ombetimi Drew. This is a team that I nurtured in oneness as Yembo and their connection with their fans is superb.
Yes.
They get the business done. Look at the game on mobile. And because who follow the qualifiers for World Cup winner. This is Norwegian side, Nitimichi Moldova born 11, or Albania, and then all the rest. Show some crazy number of goals. So the team is built to score. It goes almost at the World Cup now, and you're surprising. The only thing a bit to me I a header and team for Monko beyond the round of 16, which is their best record at the World Cup. When Omutimishia a defense or moya there and a team are equally on also be team ashe. But Omutim no say they are making good use of or more talent. They are not your regulars. They are not the cathedrals to talk of. But they are getting the business done in a very difficult group. And now feel say Senegal, I want the record, other nations who their last match Didier Deschamps said that will be the game a bit defining who tops the group. And I feel menya no way for no, they should go far and further in the competition because of the brand of football mobile and the respect for Momo as a team, not as Haaland as a key man. He is scoring for them, but I think the whole team set up, no, I wonder it deserves applause for what Omotimia at this stage. Kylian Mbappe, I think so be one number and also team sending me Momo Kakra because I've been trumpeting how good this gentleman I won the team, no. And the reason he went to the 2018 World Cup as a humble guy, but he returned as a superstar. From then, Neymar didn't become the Neymar again. The eyes are near the share Neymar, the spectacle, and near the rating Neymar necessary after Mbappe returned from the FIFA World Cup.
What to me?
Say, football no, Messi, Kroya, and Ronaldo, and Ankepe say change what football means. But football is about FIFA World Cup. The great of the game, no. Omoji omudin awo the mundial. Into ball cry for ball my yebi or Barcelona my yebi. But go back to the Dutchland. Oberball get Muller, Frank Beckenbauer. Who else? Ronaldo, Pelé, Maradona. It's because of the World Cup. And honey, you call it the great. Dear Zinedine Zidane here in 1998 at the World Cup. In the final, he looked more like a monster, winning the World Cup with the French national side. It is a person football greatness, no? You recognize what? Nyahoya World Cup one also. It goes a long way at defining who you are. So Kylian Mbappe stepped up again, and he's scoring for fun. No Ankasani traits, he doesn't look like a leader. But regardless of what you think, he gets the job done. Into the demons of Real Madrid, and it's almost failing to accept him as a big boy. He's showing it at the World Cup. And that is what matters. Now, the manager by France and Rwanda say how they were able to change players and still got the team going as Team Nayehuno. Into Bradley Bacola started ahead of Desiree Doué.
Yes.
And Roy Oberbo, Michael Olise as number 10.
Yeah.
And what they Ousmane Dembele.
Right,
and still, they maintain their shape and they got Saha goals, no. So for Kylian Mbappe, there, so one number, I'm sure no testing I catch and say, I'm his biggest fan. The way he goes about the business, no, I love it. One boy saying 3 World Cups, and was just saying 16 goals.
Serious.
You can't Ronaldo more dear at the 2
and run I make a baby say after uns Argentina bomb anyway, they were the next to play. So time videos I remember chance on an almost see a free team bus in my bar dressing room when and then I'm saying no only I wear so I'm saying uja for see from my botu on family diagro and then not clearly now men's business.
There I heard then say Messi ni fuel omo.
What to me?
He's that fire burning so hot into the baby and he's inspiration. Let's go and do it. Me say France omo history, football history, no names view or hormone green feet, Platini ne. You see, Henry Munina baby. But I think that the only person that Nidino ever stand tall, regardless of the Kylian Mbappe is Zinedine Zidane. I think he's the only European footballer the Brazilians would wish Nanko a Brazilian. Zinedine Zidane. For the ability on the ball and what he does with the ball. But for Kylian Mbappe, he's a different breed. What you know say, we a stubborn boy be a free Yaounde Chiroho baby. And I didn't cut to France and he's doing his job. Oh, that the lumba subani bi wonu pa. Minti u dede no. Look at the left foot go now, share. And the accuracy of the strike, you know. Send your team ball no ko share no. And easy. Omoko World Cup we then you no able to deal. It was 2018 was Paul Pogba, Antoine Griezmann, Olivier Giroud, and N'Golo Kante muna ni ebo ni deal. But or redefine the script. Emma after the World Cup, no, Obi I know all true about these names here, my boy. Focus on Kylian Mbappe. I love that boy. And only a World Cup, no, I wouldn't be surprised if share 35 goals. Now, I recorded that all. Messi is not looking at that direction because this World Cup, you cry. So France call when him no matter the number of goals.
Probably to say Mbappe beats me and say
he score more. Now to the Messiah. I do not think say English for no war where the beer be mobitima describing Messi. Where the beer ni we see beema I fit enough to describe the greatness and then you with a football no. One more ya umutimi ko other world, other realms no mkopem west ni bimra. But the way a dictionary, the ohima lizija wa ne be ya be fe ya or the ohinini. It can't describe Messi. Pesi ametiwi. Mi hu where the be amemfa no. He makes the game so soothing to watch. So Shana. And so you be who believe in deep analytics. Na observe ya dey deeply. The star no almost on nante omo kojeba. You always work smart in this work. You don't work hard. So space no create
to me.
And for the team to believe say at this moment there, this particular area, Messi Nejina, this should be the weight of the pass I was echo. Or starting attack and no finish here. A replica of the other share Real Madrid for Benabao Koyi in the shirt and they say, Mini, watch the name written in bold letters. I am the Messiah. I know the Cheramo. Niawaye at the Banabao, it was unlike Messi. So no in a game, Professor say all eyes should be on me. But that moment, it called for it. A idea me sure say the Barca fans no crowd, who say that was what he was going to do. It was a replica. Meaning say Shadrach Juma Obenya sa video no now compared to no. Baby I go near friend say the Argentine player know I know you closest to the ball. No. Who said no, this I shouldn't even touch the ball. Because on Pian Born call left. Yes. That is team chemistry. Yeah. They understand themselves so much. In terms of me, and Messi could have scored 4 goals. On your penalty, no, and also a clearest opportunity be with the goalkeeper OBT. He could have easily scored.
Zankanya hat-trick crowd here.
Yes, Nanka was a Messi ball. But that is not the most. And I will say it is not about me. I'm tired. I don't have the words to. I can't pick and choose which one is the best goal. I'm tired. Congratulations to my team. I'm going to enjoy and look at the game. Omasha 5 goals in 2 games. Messi Asha 5. Me, it's not about the goals that Messi shano and the memories were great. It's about the impact and the influence I will give him. No. Goals will not define him. Goals will not define Messi. But Senia or you're crafty. A changing game, the minute details of what game now Messi man focus on. No. That is why I make us say, where is the BNE Riasimua? Are you fit enough? Or you're the holiest of holies? That is the place I also will do. He doesn't belong to mortals like us. He presented some orgasmic soothing feeling about him. Mr. Messi, the ocean. You'll be up at football. You will definitely love him. This is not about fandom. He doesn't need to score 1,000 goals. Ansa no agina tumzo nimbo. Omo ma be twam nyina. Unse John the Baptist e boys no.
And I mean after the game na Giroud they say said the more now gets older, the more na or you skillful. Yeah. Cause the second goal no more pass man no so do see je born where you might be and it took from court the other side. Wow.
Messi so or yeah inventor and also a scientist and called the Nyoma Bebre never very say because unse you say nyame ye nyansabo kwa nyame ohuni yoma na ansana he sees the picture send a situation ne be ya ansana wa react to the situation.
Prince of we say fancy the younger generation coming will think Messi is AI. To my source. Okay, well, Sherlock, Samunya Shabana na film connecting establish a contact na nkoni ehwe say I bet me na din commodity free Boston Mountain so dia bana WhatsApp for no crofo no so mo mountain so me say inyom na afi din komo no mo kakran so di free na ye tete di omo so be kan nyina no me motisi mountain so dia asem na Ghana for no ka ana sade say atmosphere ni euphoria so wabontin nyina no na mama ye hom so bata mo kwaye adwuma say shark no I ready am be me afa eno na ye titi Ghana for na because ene de say any game ketwa ana enye adwuma ketwa na was Black Stars enso eye no eye game edin pa obi obeka cho say game na fu bi oboa enye nkwada match because match we dey eye botentim achesa no Washington say momu to see mountain so I ready ana mama ye tie die free a mountain so and so eba me say so mama so mo ye ready ana fi o ma bana ma fe no so ye stars na
yes game no nyame adoma eba so na emom ma ye nin komo kakra bi ansa na game na nkasa so de hwehwe di free o. There is no way a Ghana ne England de beshia. There is no sense of colonization or the idea of say we mo ye ni omo bibi eda ye ntema ye rebe fida na san komo no empempi na no ana baby etai ko wie ne ye se mo ye kai mo de mo de ye mmere bi atwa mu na ye pese ye so ye de bete ye ho ne ye tie ka na football aba be ye the main tool or the deciding factor of how say no various clubs, various nations edekwa. It for example, whenever Asante Kotoko is going to play a game, they be etna say kase keti timbre ni mo a yebeka se nka wo de Asante kwoko. Na emum ne no ko na wo ko no enye se kan ne agya ne atu na de kwa ko no. Na emum yaw eye kwan a obefa so a oba we ana abehya atade kokko no no ayere ho no akum ho abobo ne ye no atimi de ho resource de ayede e de aba. That is why certain supporters always get angry at players. Omoboma historical clubs are omukoko anymore, they don't give their best. Nemum, the amen name tokwani munyine muayere den no the famous Sagranti War that happened in 1873. Now, the Sagranti War in Chese Nipa Nasa no Jinan Tokwani near Freno, the Sagranti. Nemum Nipana who leading the British Army as at that time. Near friend Commander Sir Garnet Worsley. Na Sir Garnet na man for the do 90 minka. And we are no makan Sir Granty. By now, there are two significant moments within this particular war. Because the whole idea of the war is a year Okohe Elmina Castle. Na enkofo mo control the Elmina Castle na nkasa na the Dutch for. Now, with the Dutch and how they were controlling the Mina Castle, no, we decided so the British for no. No, we are so mujemu the amount that Santis felt like, oh, a 1 year diga. Now, Sebi, Mobejeno, I'm sure economically, Nino may be the Mobe Sorietia because Mutiti and Nipa found you so. ETM. So, the significant effect of this particular war, first one came on January 31st, 1874. Why na bantima amankwetia? That is why we call the Battle of Amwanfo. Omukoshia muntokwa dendende. But the reason why the Asantis as at that time failed to fight with them momentimian compete omuso war no the advancement of weaponry so modeba okrumu ase. Tinyomo modeba be ko akono etu we yes you see a local nyoma made there. The second significant one came in the sacking of Kumasi in February 4th to February 6th, 1874. After defeating them at the Battle of Amwanfo, omubo wura Kumasi. Ana looting ne honuma bebrebe city course so omutimi sesa agudie nketinkiti bia obeka mmere bi atwam no omu ye story by BBC say enioma bi a British for ne befa call e bi no ma return obeka isa story na BBC for call ye no. It was as a result of that. So sad na didi etrima weyemu the Ashantis are not the Black Stars. Nemum it has graduated to become the whole of Ghana. Understanding this story and what it means is mo be wi ya de wo se mo de ya de brey. It will be a trim. Now, for tonight, Utium Common Kosuni Namitie Quierloz Quierloz. Also, you have 3 lions, but we have 33 million Ghanaians behind us. Meaning, say, this is a team that is coming in, not a time for revenge, because you can't replay the past. But the installment of pride and the fact that this is a nation that wants to stand at the forefront of another war. But this time around, not fighting for any other thing of us, I say.
On the pitch.
But on the pitch. And it is a need for them to fight well and get things well done. Yeah, we are an emotional game more than a tactical game. It plays on the mind. It plays at every single level. When you be over England, I can say no pay biana yaw. Obian kuma wo di biana say Ghana game no a different from England Croatia game no boy no because as a bibi mununkumbi e kata mumi enu nyina so e wo so bi atimi di free ho. Can we do it tonight? It's a question of the goals. By yaw omumi enu ni nyina wo mu history omo de be mu into this game. In terms of England at the World Cup, omo lose to any African team at the World Cup. In terms of Ghana's history, yeah, from 1998, Ghana more any major tournament and lose their second game of the competition. There be enya juma. So obia obebi anakodi ane na ho odin gina. Obia obebi ane nyansa ene na ho odin ni bibia so gina free ba. Na mmom afane mienu nyina mu no. Yeah, obia so woni weaknesses a ene ye be ho djuma ne ade. That is just a bit of where these two teams stands, the history, a dear back, what it plays into the mental toughness of this game, and what we can expect. Say game we tactics were harder, but yeah, it is more of a mental game or an emotional game than the tactics. That is where it stands. Now, moving away from the history and all of these things, yeah, 5 key battles in this particular game. How Ghana will be able to deal with such situations. The emotional part of these things, the first battle is about the emotional bit of the England fans versus Thomas Partey. Nyame adum enanyumre se referee ni bona abemu pii no ka se impossible na Thomas Partey na gina game ni mo because if Jordan Ayew doesn't start tonight enkomo aye didi ni US yetete ye ne nkofo didi nkomo no yaw training no mo ye dodo na no ye nyina ye nya sure say this is what he is going to do but training na ekoso dodo na no excited say Ghana will have to go into this game with a 4-3-3 and a 3-man midfield of Thomas Partey, Elisha, any Calibrinchi.
England for Chigo.
Any Calibrinchi. If Partey is going to start this game, the first battle here, how Partey is going to deal with the tension and the attitude of the English fans. Yeah, your supporters, no matter so I be about 3,000. Now you are Panama born so Toronto Stadium. Panama for na di honjina boom say Ghana for so twa baby na so dede. Na mom e Boston no trust you me the English fans will be in full force because omo ni America for no omo ya yanuafo no ma ne sa. Omo kasa ye pe omo na just by say kakra bi na slang ne kakra be sesa kakra ba yaw omo betua stadium opa Partey first boy omo huru Partey ball last ball mbehuru. Partey triba ko mbehuru. Partey ball shot mbehuru.
No ya tiabre.
And yow, that is the first battle we need to battle it out. Because if Partey is starting, the control and the calmness are near lacking in the game against Panama. It is Partey who brings it. The level of experience and quality playing at that level no immense for us to get a player who is ready for that task. It you media duties or enra. For the Ghanaian media and common now or say you can't control what happens outside the pitch. Meaning what I say. I'm expecting that is the number 1 battle. The number 2 battle, Ghana's fullbacks. Any England wingers. Yow, Anthony Gordon will have to run in behind. Anthony Gordon will have to cut in. Noni Madueke will have to isolate. Omunina per 1v1. Gideon Mensah. Any Ninuya Marvin Seneya. Omo Juma Yene papa. Anthony Gordon no bona to close free oba na nsuo free oba de bia se beba.
O de se me maka mo say England wingers ni mienu nyina.
Oba de bia. So the major attention will be on the 2 fullbacks and the 2 wingers in the. So that is the number 2 battle. The number 3 battle, who tracks Hurricane to the back. Hurricane on nyina ni mu ho.
Tini kwansi ya ma center back bi afano.
Yeah, you see?
No ma tukura da ye chire.
Communication is very important. The idea make say communication is very important. Say there are 2 ways in making sure that we make Hurricane a free game. 1, mubetwa police the man say baby oboku bi oni nachi. Number 2, communication be ya adwuma say udi nachi aduru baby a wonua wa na agara ma say me nua ma free ho magana ma. E ya odi ato aso free ho. Yeah, what did they mention as no? Because what the hurricane a chair not started from the first phase build up on natural on ma. And what to me quite was set back. It would do a unia Jordan see Majana Maji. And if you want to follow him,
I want to believe, say, the canning and no me show say be a video analysis no ashe.
Oh, me aware.
Me
aware. But it's key battles and no game there was some more the But yo, the last one I would love to speak about is a Shadrach Bebuama. Me catch and so on download the videos be England set pieces, you know.
I know.
Yo, England set pieces, you know. The blockers. Omo block no ma create space the ama umunya. Look on the screen. 2 players are blocking Croatia players, no. Free space were free. Omo yen consistently, yow. And me busa me won say, if England has 2 players or more blockade, your players on the pem corner na, sa space net that one e feel it. And you suban that referee on your foul because on you soon inside. Look at the video, they don't even use their hands. And your body. Oma block space in the down fifio kakraka. Yow, space in the down fifio kakraka. We need to be aggressive in corner kicks. We need to be aggressive in free kicks. But I'm happy. Say Ajete and Jerome. Omu area draws against Panama. They were splendid. Yow, on this day, we will need them to come to the party. And this is what I'm expecting from the match.
Whoa, Mate, Mesa, Mamen call a new team on our fee. On friend ko board no so we are about be share the Ghana for kind of mountain na fair the WhatsApp video no and so aso new BBI cool BBI cool
production na have make a but finally no ya can you mesimo and a game no a purely tactical game and ye kwa akobo a purely tactical game. I don't want somebody to go on the field and feel say England Ghana me say no game na start here. Your intelligence, your preparation, whatever you did, your knowledge on the opposition, no, reflecting. This is a World Cup stage. Yeah, boy, I want to go anywhere. Game, no, either someone Jimmy or you fight. We've seen Kevet, some more fighting, I won't call stage one more that. But in their games, I have shown against Spain, we saw a rare resilience. Now, check England game, no Thomas Tuchel and Komona or Didi Nina. Me, my analyze it. Our last 6 games, you know. A bit more in England and Sunday also. But there have been certain opponents. I'm on board with the ideology of Ghana and Quierloz Quierloz. And so I'm checking New Zealand, I'm checking Costa Rica, I'm checking Croatia, I'm checking Japan. Yo, putting all those games together, one opponent in the soup, the binus Ghana pa. It's me picky another game, you know, and I want us to speak to the elements of that game, Japan game, you know. Before na me no Thomas Tuchel didn't come over for Ghana team no one ball, but for context sake, me possibility baby kakra bi, I'm about 10 seconds audio. TNT san come no ka for Ghana ho. Thomas Tuchel there no. Who we are for attention and broad board no so.
Okay.
And then envision the game from here.
Well, Shadrach, sama me Thomas Tuchel the press conference on Ghana yenti no.
Just mentioned one of the threats is the counter-attack because Ghana plays with a lot of physicality, they play with a lot of speed, individual quality. They don't mind if they don't have so much of the ball because they burst into high-speed attacks on the counter. They play very direct when they're on the ball. They're not shy to use long balls. They bring 4 or 5 players into the attack. So, yeah, it's a different approach. Like
come on up and no. One boy Yankupon you ha. One multi-4 BND by chum. And come on you know. One bombusum beard, one mushroom beard. A typical tactics and a coach in a cano. So we are Ghana coach at TNT. Or can someone see an afar Ghana home? Or can counter attack? Or can you pace? Or can you speed? Or can we don't care? Switching to lesser possession.
Yes.
Yabaka Panama you bought 38% of the ball. Against England, it might even be lesser. Japan added the same attributes in opening and the coach one friendly game. And Japan happens to be the only opponent are winning against England in the last 6 games. Only opponent, Japan. More quality say Ghana. But they retreated into the blocks. England started game and more high. Consa bebo, my gay bebo. Nico really bebo. Jordan Pickford no on them. Right back and Ben White. I doubt so on the Besha, but I'll be picking this. And Fifina Anderson Bebo. Gordon likely Morgan Rogers about Palmer and Kobe.
Declan Rice and so.
Declan Beba Kobe main position. So we take Palmer out near the Madrid.
I'm not sure my first game called start say John Stones gay or but say kana
from the train I'm showing the ball my gay you has said John Stones can equally come here. And talking about for the position on your belly line. But when you say Japan game no a ball with strikerless, but Japan for no went flat free back. I'm not doing for free in the final third. Where it converted into many situations. One, Japan for possession home. And they love to go direct whenever they have the ball. That is verticality. So here Japan for no watch you know. And you community right from here we will talk about their set pieces and how they function. So what check Free Lions team no naturally Pickford and they start the game no. Or no Konsa or Magay or John Stones, one of the center backs. Now free back you know, or more than two different types. Either say 3 back a walk box in or free back a be about box no outside. No, they want to move the ball out. Nobody call. But they may home from Japan and say Japan for no yard almost city deep on blue jerseys you know. Ni deep. Says I'm a Ghana boy ball. You see us here, you ha. Who said the piano? We allow the opponent to have the ball and not to Kelekano. They don't shy away from keeping lesser possession. So Free Lions a back three ni Magay Konsa and then Nico O'Reilly. And all the GM back and Nimsa. That's the sour yeah boy. Even against Panama. Sani boy. We love going into the blocks and invite the opposition to come at us. And then I walk on. Inviting the opponent means possession and now ball benyano and you now for Japan to revert in the deep block. 4-3-3. Oh, deep block no. Deep block no means field no. Omo jahani na omo found Japan for no. Deep no more deep. And oh ni pa no ani e kan say blocks no. It's a blocks of 3. Japan for ni say na ye Ghana ye boy.
3 lines of defense no.
3 lines of defense. A very compact. Compatibility no ya to dem for completely say. Ye kra no ya 4 so kwan dem. Okra wakam sasem ni bi. Ye 4 so but a kwan dem for Japan omo 4 so kwan dem. The English side you know Ekoso and the ball come achi was the present. Have you seen that? So Japan for no me very organized. They force them into back passes. Now not just a center backs no na ba the new midfielders. Now strategically the team say a commit a lot of space at the tour.
Yeah. No na Tuchel so kan wan asem no. Na say onim England na ho dem but ni nyina twa san stro Ghana to an extent.
So you see the 4-3-3. Also shape from say Japan for no. Say yes, we sit deep whilst keeping the shape. This it can also convert into 4-4-2 with 2 strikers according to the zone or the position of the ball. Now they win the ball and they try to go out on quickly on the counter. Sana Japan for no at the year more and they create some few chances. You watch that. Yeah. They sit deep, they win the ball, and then they go. When at Tuchel so the first 3 type, also the catch was 3 back in 2 types. First type in the first type the composition of Pickford and the 2 center backs and a more deeper. Also wo area how. Yeah Ghana Yamaha yeah in Japan for the Baha. So we enter a no. We enter. But the better idea na no. But Japan no, omo pen mo ko yeah Ghana yen kwa. But Japan were forcing said the England be commit error bi. And naturally England nim bobo. Because omo nim bobo. Omo ti Spain for no.
Say bia
paper so comfortable. They are not like that. This is the second free back. You can see that. Now they are outside the area. Now omo outside the area. The Japan for no say omo jai we mo. No ma ba infin for no so. So you can see the picture has changed.
Yeah, more.
Nice. Baby, I'll be connecting. You are connecting to the midfield or going long. Well, if you go long, every ball be also be a 50-50. As soon as you hit the ball in the skies, it is 50-50. But who's England for no build back? And they say, I will give me say, yeah, we will keep coming back until someone. Now, for them to be coming back more, no, they are committing this pace for us. Now they win the ball, they want to go quickly. What was the idea? No? That is how the game is going to be.
Yes, muntem.
So Japan have chance to cry no. Jamuntem no. Oh, Jamuntem you baba shia, you be adwuma. Yo, you baba be adwuma. So one jabo no muntem ye ade che beba. And I've been talking about the 4-3-3 to you. But only my dear, I am a fair our Japan team. No, so England that's switch ball no kwa. No more so I switch 4-3-3 no. Shall I be a hacker cramame? Oh, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Also, my Jaffa. She England, I'm the board of Babasia. I did the same shape on the Baba. I'm the same shape on the Baba. You can see that. So, and you're sitting behind the ball, applying the principles, forcing them to keep the ball, forcing them to open up wide. Now, England are about 70% of the ball.
But no lose.
But no lose. Japan share one of her.
Morino so per ball no crafa coffee.
So this is more tricky. Now, make it can and somebody be quick. Yeah, near to me a coin moon England minimum corners on Benya dear TIA. Medru Honomo. Minimum corners on Benya dear TIA 10.
Yeah.
Now, ya corners are bros, so I ain't twin your corners more 3. England, yeah, this is what they want to do. So, Rashford, or the Namano by inside. Gordon, or Namano by inside. But do a Kenny Saka, so I see how it has been the case. Now, Japan, won't forcing them to go out wide more. Have you seen that 5-2-3 formation? All in the low block, 5-2, holding midfielders, you know, they don't move. I'm on the anchor back line, and the possession keeps increasing for England. Yet, a good defense, a possession, and yet non-terror. Also, my search for 3-3
So from the what the kind baby about bedri, Jemima Peki Kakrani say always Japan are on the move. And are always on the move, no so when you say be on the move keke. They always stick to a formation and almost strategy on the ball.
Yeah, but also my search about
yeah, another 4-3-3.
If you move the ball here, everybody switches. No, I'm a block line. I'm a block line that we see true. No, as I the cost say. Now as I call block row, they were forcing England to keep the ball on buffers row. They had a very perfect system. So in talking about this, on Salon born in here, now I'm about to actually.
Not 50-50.
Not 50-50. But it's about discipline. It's about being compact. It's about keeping the shape. So converting to 4-3-3, everybody understands the rule. Now this is 4-4-2, y'all. And it's a technical man. You watch your TV. What's the way 4-4-2? 4-4-2 means about England for all kakra. So 2 strikers and monko mumi and monko 4 na can change. Also SS Pi, among committed 3 players ever. They commit only 2. Then the 4 will remain in the half. As soon as Ome Pi bypass the 2, we say no. Oma Babishim. So Ome very, very, very disciplined. Japan for no ma England for no chiro papa. And I'm telling you 7-8 players from this lineup Babe body at here Ghana team now. What I have seen this English side and say yaw in fifth winning board the ball. Japan for your DB. I just want to show you here. Every time I'm the board neighbor now, you can understand the fact that show fifth, you know. Have you seen that? So here for another board never.
Quite baby. I use all court rings.
But so either you recycle through the wings back to a goalkeeper or you go long. Now switch the formation. Have you seen that? 4-3-3 England you know. But 3 man midfield na loaded you know. It 4 no ball no equal ball no. 3 to connect to the 3 no. Ayere. Patriotic game na say. It is 4-3-3. The 3 to connect no. I'm block you. There are certain few times you pass through. Normally it's a risk you know. Actually,
because I be more men behind the ball.
So yo, over and over, we continue to talk about the same picture. At some point, you know, not 2 midfielders who were mobile. There were nothing they could do. When the ball come or in a game, they took him out. Because or drop it center backs and all the you know, yeah, I blank altogether. So my key point in say, and then area bend you be pressing, area bend you be jump some more ball no. Now I have funny strength, be lie. To be very honest, your team na your there. The only problem I warrior the coach in the kind of your speed, your pace, but you be used. And I use you. Born the Baka Kojin Honoman or Yao, or bet me the Ako, and I want to make. Have you also understand said they always switch 3 man for 1 more? 1 more 3 top no. Once a switch a couple of line or so. It's the now crab on the bay. No Sadiba. What I show one better, I'm a Saba Sabatom, or neighbor. Japan were so disciplined, very much organized. I want to qualify the only country Russia England 1-0 in the last 10 games. So imagine them say they did something better. Let me look through. Michelle Costa Rica, England, Shannon Miensa. Michelle Croatia, Shannon Miensa. Michelle New Zealand, Shannon. No. Then I said one opponent to be there. On England, I'm a ball, or simple ball, but to a ball or half. Then from here, I'll start limiting the threats. It's about watch. Uncle Babia.
So, born in England for the behand on the ball. But say, ye Japan for ye be not ye maintaining ye kind of say ye strategy they could give not ye bona. It's about what we do.
Watch it. For go away 2 teams, one will go away that no catch me. For one will go away that no catch me. Where they won the ball and how they scored.
About trim.
Now me don't come be on winning ball. No, they no crab ball. A come fast winning ball. Let's go again. Watch it. Watch them. Watch them. I'm gonna the ball near kono. Count how many players in the action zone and understand the pressure.
Yeah. 4v2.
4v2 solid. To be fun and with defense on no way no. Ayo hodjuma. And that is a conversion of the 4-4-2 because 2 strikers in Aka.
Can you count the number of touches at each player? Amongst those 4 almost sandwich Kupamano, Ubiobian Sanko Baka Crab, Biomoja Bono. Now the Omoja Bono we are play from a higher. Now there can be a touches on ya.
I didn't hear you. I may answer when I can hear. And a papa and a coin.
Because Obabo, papa, Tunya Bona, the over so we know. And you're fin out down home.
And already what kind of play?
Can be there 1 touch each.
I'm gonna
I know when so option on the left.
We only control be way. We control. Situation near to say a big counter.
And sadly we Opa County Ghana Benya Bine was.
Caleb go in your hand.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Black Stars Ebenya sadly we.
You must go no. What's your social content no? This is Caleb de Bertolet 7 pound a call wide and a social bar area. But watch it from the long shot and you understand say England are coming to more men forward and then jump big space. It's where you had space we say no that England for no kakraka. That's when we need to punish them. Watch it. And you say na Thomas Kofa no. Yeah. And you say na Caleb Semenyo Jato no. How is that different from the England for no quiet? We are ready to suffer, but they'll give us this space. And it is a body could do your box to Mudia. Yo, you finish one time. I'll be taking you to the set pieces and you love it how almost set pieces in the Beko. England and the minimum yaw. Omanya 10 corners in the TIA. And that corners no the least Omanya in the last 10 games. Corners which mean 12, 13, 15. England 11, 10. Then they come to 6. No manya 8. Those 6, opponents or more magic. Why have they always been taking their center? I mean the Japanese. Because we connect to them. One connect to them. We long. Or be quick bono.
Yes, sir. And then baby a Declan Rice and Elliot Anderson ebe bono. I see me.
And a bomb so. It's a system designed to and let your players understand. Say and a bomb. You plan ye. Yet we no munch possession. Yow, what in come here say they young quickly because a brand of corner and say they always try to find a way to keep them shut in the midfield. Now a bomb a game also. And they do say I will lose ball now. Can't not to watch you. Only memory cap. On Samsung in board so Bobia Sacrasa. Yeah, so let's talk about few set pieces from England and understand how they act. England, they use one thing. Thomas Tuchel said they use physicality or boy also used to be. Now I can't show about corners and I say corners and any. Yeah, well, I'm 4-2 no more share Croatia no. Omanya corners 8. This is the minimum against Croatia. Who really said it's almost a bobo no be? Yeah, bobo no be. Naturally, teams are lesser possession. They are now corners this year. And we share Croatia for now. Omanya just 2 corners.
Yeah.
But Yansha the Abu has say na and common in your day. How these situations and obey me a quartier if you are to any year. Now I brought this up here to make a very perfect understanding. Talking about possession, there nobody should have the fear. Possession, Costa Rica friendly game, no. I'm about 79%. 69% against New Zealand. 75% against Japan. The no assurance here, you know.
Yeah.
But score line here say 1-0.
Lose.
63 Uruguay. 70, 62, 53, 68, and there it goes. But check the corners. Corners in the 11 corners against Costa Rica. 8 against New Zealand. 11 against Japan. Japan, you know. 11. 7 against Uruguay. 7, 11, 6, 7, 7. So, looking at corners, it would really and vastly increase. These are the corner situations from England. Omo use atenten for no. A traditional method no mo use. Traditional method ne say corner piece ye bo fa soro nti. Ye use omo ho oden, omo betime bully omo way through. So o check we say am highlight the akere we a. E na be me sa na mani no mai. Konsa wa ha. Nico O'Reilly wa ha. Anderson Medford that one fin wa ha. And then where for the one count. Then Morgan Rogers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep them in your mind. They are the target. So Hurricane ba obeba habi. Dan Ben ba obeba habi. And a purely natural. First, and your first soldier for you say a pomo ye mema. Corners no sana near bono. And they always target 2 different places. But a penalty spot or a far post. I haven't seen England corner or Moboko near post anymore.
Okay, now say omo ball mo corners na. Either so be ball corner na baby a de ball no to ball penalty no spot or area ho.
Wow.
And so be body akọ far post.
Assembly you know waka no.
Pull the chi ho no.
And omo near 1 2 3. Oh baby omugina. Anya one ball penalty. Enu nie. Magain nie. Hwe TV ni so ye magain nie. Ya magain e jana no. Oba ba so we mo so. Edi ni na ka.
What no say the on can.
Obeba. Magain. He's really outside. Obeba can I 4. So our target height no nipa 4 say be ya entimi miss target no. Now we know omo bo corners no at some point in ye e no de Maguire and Dan Ben by only Dan Ben we share da.
England squad ni no na wa.
Japan you jira Dan Ben.
Newcastle boy no England too ni no na wa Dan Ben.
Yeah. Japan you Dan Ben na be jira ni nche. So center they pick this spot or that spot, far post or around the 12 spot.
No, not to catch you, Mr. Momo na moka say bia. Do we need we have to some TV there unya video ni na because of copyright. Until do we need be a video ni emotion ayana omo dey eye year to so because of copyright. Na share Mr. Moya on the Facebook for any YouTube for no. Ya mo betimi apost so ama new audio na afi. I will post na no fan video na nkasa but ya anya ne sade a page no be sanje biem mo general from ntia Mr. Ma mo fanche but TV phone no de am say no qualms
yento the classroom and I said big boys at the back
the boys at the back
and then I saw no oh she 18 no we almost 60 them on 60 we go keep on the right and a back camera na fan a close shot Konsa Nico O'Reilly Anderson.
In that order.
Morgan Rogers.
More taller, the most tallest.
Watch it carefully. Yeah, I'm so done a technical man. Watch it carefully. Back post. So the target has been 2. I'm fan of about penalty now. Back of fan of far post. All their games have analyzed. Corners 2 targets. I don't know why I'm on far anymore. I'm on you near post. I'm on you. So this is it. It me do sabre me here jiku ho me here salisu. O man ko bi. Me here jeti.
The reason why omunyusu eni mo ni e kire ne.
Uncle boy dey say Japan keep na. Suzu. On say receive board here.
Yeah.
Baby ogina. Keep on ni. Yeah. Of our board no so. Straight. One fan one to the defenders no so. Watch him. Have you seen that? One fan one to defenders no so. It has always been the case. The center or the back post. The center or the back post.
They tell omunyusu
a big boys.
Bebre ne say omunyusu more blockers. More blockers ne say omo a wo stay omo no Konsa mo no. Omo adwuma ne say ni kwan so omo pem ball no. Omo adwuma ne say omo pushi on so omo pia Japan for ne kopo nim. Na sa atokro ne wo mfimfin wo no. Ada ho na be free space. No be be pem ball ne dia she.
Because they na you can
against. It omo ne blockers. Omo adwuma omo ye nyina so omo ye blockers.
Against
omo ma be
Hurricane goal it was same.
Omo nyina Croatia players ni nyina akọ tokro ne be da wa eti ene wo se me ani eden omo pia enko omo pia bi
yeah back post no no mo sa so target. I think we've gone enough but the me fair this keeper say no near post o so mo ba far no and no Jimrika about be parry ball no what I have seen about this game and say nyame adom a ene de corners ne be ba yeah, Payampo. Would you come now? Chat your crumbs again about consider corners. I had your money and I said, we investment.
Oh, say, so corner non chess, you be losing.
You defend investors. Who you corner now go?
Oh, that
who trust him? You be more connected.
Bokon and Abbas in control.
investors inti your book empire say you consider book
we so the amon chenchim sa na 8 ne bebo.
So yo, this is it. On say far post on person connecting the place, you know. Let's try to understand say England for a lot of pressure but we can also equally understand so almost spaces I will mature maybe to take advantage of, and it's so clear here say as the concept person connected bono far post. So look at this stage and age of the game, opponent be anyone more than young on analyzing. Opponent be anyone. Curacao on the show opponent. Quebec on the show opponent. Madagascar, everybody does it. And so we Ghana so your analysts or but execution on the field, you know. Execution on the field.
Quierloz, Adewa Kwame who won the first official game.
Onya corner division no. Ano do we buy? Magua ne Damben what ona fofotu mo.
Magua so na ma World Cup EB no.
Damben ba.
Damben.
Japan here de Damben amano. E wudi sempa. So Tomastigo, now you watch it. Answer corner no twen means they place importance on taking corners.
Yeah.
Or twen your subs too. One is this guy, Damben.
Kwawa.
Yo, me dem di twa to ya semba ko pe. Sa ball na ye bo free say, ni ye bo free say na e ba no. The communication between the goalkeeper and then the backline, especially 4 and 5 no. Yo, e paramount. Se Benjamin Beba goalie or keeper say mo kan no. Omo nkasa. Se Ben to me ma, yo,
communication is very key.
Defenders in ejuma, but ajete me di yakopodi pa ajete. So ya we dey me confirm ajete.
I don't why dey.
Ajete. Ball no head no. Of course Ruja ball ya. Ajete we dey mapa ajete chew.
Want to me?
Ball na ya na of course Ruja ball no be si from na ball no na chi. And the man ajete nye very careful. Now awareness and the timing ya mabuku to pa ajete chew. Of course throw okoja ball no. O si from na ball na be du ni apem no chi. Me say su bi ya the timing and an awareness ajete. Ne soro kono.
No bones at you. Sharak, Monfra, a year, Mutisi Montes, the Amanfo, Can, Monfra, no Mamma Fee, Yamrana, Yinti, and Okakana, Femi Dinkum, Dium Communi Repa, near Baba Fa, Yen WhatsApp videos, no Inti Munikamame, Jamutisi Montes, Amanfo, Yinti Kakra.
World Cup game number 2. Good game a year born in the share. You be Ghana for saying, number 4 game, play a bang, and Ankawo, who coach here. Jordan said, "You will boom one sign." Jordan in Bobo. Now, before you were any bonus one any. Send you we are born. Yes, and a boni huno. Boni training going to be training. And Jordan no, the kind of football na war born. One share because was. But we should boni mu year. Na say ka say check and yama Jordan na in the 90 minutes now. Most of Jordan no, or one of the best. One. Jordan Jobona, Gentia Ukrabo Nechen. Ukrabo Neche because of say avian information I say. Now what we waste and means are Obayama played back one I'm going to be attacking. Now we Yama Etino or shot or Abasa shot to play me one Amiensa. Now we're German and at times it's a pass and Maya. And Jordan say be a Ukrabo Nache. Obi on Wabo ball. Francis for player for Lise. Not Jordan Bentino or Crystal Palace. It's Jordan on your player go to Biasa or one of the best. It's your bumpire say the BC Biano. You're fast animal occasion because Jordan so there. And then say World Cup qualifiers now. On only player or they qualify or she more goals.
And Jordan the man started. Emma Jordan blast a cup because boys in any average. And Jordan or Jibona no what it to and yet it to us. You other win or draw into Emma Jordan in franchise. Now Jordan no so boys in energy and what my boys in start and 1 year.
The player I'm person could start to cry Jordan Ali because complaining more. And I even so and yes will be trying through born style now born on never complain here. Eba ubuni ya yebeka 1 month years swipe here yebeka. Into the BBN I hope say World Cup near born. So Bebo now obey ni yama bobo ni will be just careful no crana boagan and yes your query. For Jordan there and yaman corner make everybody complaining. My boss will be born na a day cabomanas akofum kaka
Okay, me dear, enka means me person can be a Jordan I you bet na nchen kaka because as I no be brave abane so
every man in modern bonus why day. Akofum kakra kame coach dia kame manatena in chain. And I
first half no place we are coach ndo mo start here no. Me fi say oma amwai prayer no share 15 jesi. Me fi say ne was a sunny free mami enka many beji. Ebi say wo hwa mfimfin ona wa ma ho no I school pa yi. Yeah sa prayer no. Me fi say was a sunny mami beboa na prayer ba so make na asem Jordan. Wo say blaster no wa bo ache. E dia intimi nya dai. Enka so wo mfiri mu. Nti ye de gina ma achi ma wonyere no nya dai. Onku no homa ye. Onku no homa ye pa. Ebi say striker una o free kick ba chire kra una o pese o be body e. E ba sha na matim no ai bibi o. Nti ni fi say
1 2 3 okay okay based on what your experience is it Wednesday last week against Panama no can maybe Shanka Jordan are you main starting because of pace na yes oni mbo money do oni mbo but I say ahokeka na ye ma pass near there na and can main start Jordan are you Wednesday last week against Panama no can maybe Shanka Jordan are you main starting because of pace na yes oni mbo money do oni mbo but I say ahokeka na ye ma